Welcome back to Fantasy Football Today. I'm Jamie. That's Heath. Joining us now, it's our buddy Adam Azer. We're going to look at the roster trends from the moves you made Tuesday night. The most added, most dropped, most traded. And it really impacts some of the moves that you could be making on Wednesday as you see some of the other transactions that have happened in different fantasy leagues. So let's start with the most added players. And probably no surprise, the Eagles guys on this list. And there they are, Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell. Gainwell number 6, Scott number 10. I wouldn't be surprised if Scott doesn't crack the top 5 before tomorrow's over. You see some of the DST streamers, the Bengals and the 49ers, certainly very popular. Kickers as well with Evan McPherson and Greg Zuerlein. And there's the ever-popular tight end, CJ Uzomah. But let's talk about the Eagles running backs again. So, Adam, we got the report that Jordan Howard might be part of the running back rotation here. Gainwell and Scott took over for Miles Sanders in the game against the Raiders after Sanders got hurt. Give me your breakdown of this Philadelphia backfield now that Sanders is expected to miss the Week 8 game against the Lions.
Well, you really love the matchup. The Lions give up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs. They've had a few games where they've been pretty solid against the run, including last week against Darrell Henderson, earlier in the year against the Ravens. That's what I'm really worried about, kind of a Ravens scenario where if Jordan Howard is activated, nobody's getting enough carries to really matter. I think that Kenneth Gainwell is the best because he should have more of a role in the passing game. He had 4 catches. I will point out 3 of those catches last week were with 7 minutes and 9 seconds left in the 4th quarter or later. So it was all pretty much garbage time for him, and I don't expect garbage time for the Eagles, but he has the best chance to catch the passes, and I think he has the best chance to lead the team in carries. He's a number 3 running back. Boston Scott had a 1-yard touchdown run last week, so you just don't know what the Eagles are going to do, how they're going to split up the work, and that is a shame given the matchup, but I'm actually going to try to avoid them if I can.
I pretty much agree with what Adam said. The only thing I would disagree with is I don't know that I would say Gainwell is the favorite to lead them in carries. I think I'd probably lean towards Scott that way. I'm just not sure that it'll matter that much if one of them gets 9 carries and one of them gets 7 and Jalen Hurts has 12. So they're flexes, and I do think there's a sneaky chance that Boston Scott could be Peyton Barber from a couple weeks ago, where Gainwell just stays in his role and we see Scott with 18 carries.
Very good point and good comparison there where Barber took over. It could be Jordan Howard for all we know. I mean, we just don't know how these guys are going to be used, but Gainwell has 3 games this season with at least 9 total touches, and he scored 11 or more PPR points in all 3 of them. So you would expect him to get that workload, and hopefully the production follows as well. Adam, let's talk about the Packers situation. So no Devontae Adams, no Allen Lazard, at least as of now, both placed on the reserve COVID-19 list with the game on Thursday. So you see Randall Cobb and Robert Tonyan on the list there. Throw in Marquez Valdes-Scantling. Give me the breakdown of how you think these Packers receiving options will perform without the top 2 guys available.
Yeah, I think Randall Cobb, if MVS plays, I think Randall Cobb is kind of like a poor man's Hunter Renfrow. I think you get 5 for 60, something like that. If he scores, it's going to be great. If not, then he's a number 3 wide receiver in PPR. MVS is the one that has the potential. Now, we think of him as kind of a deep ball guy, and he is. But isn't it possible that MVS runs different routes, gets different targets without Devontae Adams, without Allen Lazard there? They might use him differently than we've ever seen, kind of like when DJ Chark got hurt and we saw different usage out of Laviska Shenault, and they used him, out wide instead of in the slot. So I think MVS would be a number 3 wide receiver if he's active in this game. Randall Cobb would be basically a number 3 wide receiver, but a little bit lower end if MVS is out. Obviously, I'm not super excited about any of them because I think the running backs, particularly Aaron Jones, are going to have a lot of catches and yards in this game. And I do think Robert Tonyan is in play as a low-end number 1. He is my 2nd favorite streamer behind Seals Jones, if you could still get him.
All right, so Seals Jones, your favorite. You saw, though, CJ Uzomah on that list also. So, Heath, give me the breakdown of those 2 tight ends because, for the most part, they have been touchdown dependent. But now Tonyan gets a bump, hopefully, in targets, and he did step up last season in the 2 games Adams was out.
Yeah, I think Tonyan and Uzomah are very, very similar on a normal week. What we saw the last time Devontae Adams was out, Robert Tonyan had his best yardage game of the season with 98 receiving yards. The other game, he had 50 receiving yards. So I think he's a little bit more than a touchdown or bust tight end. Now he's just like a touchdown or bad tight end. He still needs to score, but he scored 4 times in the 2 games without Devontae Adams last year.
I just wish it was a different opponent because we're going to see how good this Cardinals defense is against tight ends because they really haven't faced a lot of tough competition, but they are number 1 in terms of fewest fantasy points allowed. Only 23 receptions to tight ends on the season. So we'll see if it's more about the competition or if it's more about their defense really being that good. But I think you have to take a chance with Robert Tonyan if you are looking to stream the position based on what the opportunity is with the receivers not there for Green Bay.